Congratulations, guys. We made it to the listening section. Let's talk about the listening. Let's talk about the. Congratulations, guys. You made it to the listening section. Let's talk about the listening. What is this section about? Let's have a look. So this is the listening section. You see that now we have this. So this is the listening section. You see here we have the screen. So this is the listening section. You see here we have the lecture. So there is a picture of the girl who is talking. And then we have this little thing here and we are going to listen to the lecture, right? So we can only listen to the lecture once. So it's very, very important that you take notes. This is the most important thing that you do in the listening section. You take as many notes as you can, and then it helps you to answer the questions because the questions only appear after you hear the lecture. So we see that the girl is talking and then there's no time, you see here that there's going to be time, but while you're listening to the lecture, the time doesn't go, the clock doesn't go. So after we hear it, after we listen to the lecture, we have the questions. So we have the question, what is lecture mainly about? And then we have 4 answer choices. So for example, we want to skip this question. We don't know the answer. So we click next. We have this error message, right? We cannot just go next without picking the right answer choice. We need to pick an answer choice before we can move to the next question. So here we need to pick at least some. So here we need to pick anything. So here we need to make our choice first, and then we have to make sure that this is what we think. We cannot change our answer later. So if you want to answer this question correctly, really pay attention to all the answer choices, pick the one that you think is the best, and then click next, and then we have to also click OK. All right, so we need to click always 2 buttons, next and then OK. And then there's no option to go back. So we cannot come back and change our answer. It's not possible. So we always have to make sure what is the answer choice that we like. So pick it and then go next and then check again if it's really that answer, if you think there's still an option for you to change the answer, okay? If you click next and then before you click OK, there is still an option to change the answer. But after you click OK, there is no option to come back, okay? Also, sometimes you have questions like this. For example, why does the author say this? And then they repeat something from the lecture. And so you listen to the quote from the lecture and you need to remember, why did the professor say this? And then you need to, again, choose any answer. So we chose the answer, we click next, and we click OK. So every lecture and every listening passage has, every listening section, there are several listening passages in the listening section. There are sometimes lectures and sometimes dialogues. So here we have the lecture and we will have 5 or 6 questions to this first lecture. Okay, so it's usually 5 or 6 questions, it's usually 6 questions to each listening passage. So once we're done with all these 6 questions, let's have a look. What does the professor say? What does the professor mean when she says this? All right. Where are the answer choices? What does the professor mean when she says this? All right. And so this is the question number 6. So we go next, we click OK, and we are moved on to a dialogue. So sometimes it's not a lecture, sometimes it's a dialogue. So here we have a dialogue between a professor and a student. Again, we'll listen to it. We don't see the questions before we listen, so we need to take notes very, very well. And then they move us to the questions. And here we have to answer the questions, make sure they're correct, click next, click OK, move to the next question, etc. Okay, so in order to succeed on the listening section, you really need to take as many notes as you can. And in the next lecture, we're going to talk about note-taking. How do you successfully take notes? Thanks for watching.